I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are watching what I'm watching right now. But it's pretty crazy. All right? I mean, I'm not sure if the stream is loading. For me, it looks like it's turning around a little bit. But holy shit. All right, let me quickly open this up on my phone here to see if we're actually cooking or not. See if we're actually live or we... Holy smokes, man. We are right now at $2.34. That is pretty peculiar, to say the least. I mean, I don't want to only talk about XRP here. I just wanted to quickly mention XRP because I think out of all, it is going on the craziest of rallies, right? I mean, it is up, what, 12%, I think now? Let's just quickly zoom out here. Let's quickly refresh this. I think it is up roughly 12%. Okay, at least today. So since, yeah, look at this. So out of the top 100, XRP is number 4. Up 12% throughout the day, 3% throughout the past hour. And sure, guys, some other coins are doing better. But not really. I mean, it's number 4. And throughout the week, it's number 19 out of 100. Definitely not too bad. Everybody's talking about 𝗕𝗃. I see you guys saying in the chat. Well, not really anymore. 𝗕𝗃 was the hot stuff 2 days ago, but it's not done anything in the past 48 hours. Basically. Virtuals was definitely talked about a lot. Everybody's talking about that. But funnily enough, the number one winner is a render out of everything. So anyway, long story short, what I've basically been covering for a while is that this is where the market goes absolutely bananas. And if you want to get any sort of idea as to what I'm talking about, I've just been talking primarily about the idea that the altcoin season index is low. Most coins have not performed better than Bitcoin over the past 90 days, yet the RSI is high. It showcases cryptocurrencies seem to be overbought right now, so they seem to be going up too much. If we take a look at the stats, though, No sound? Sounds cut out. Let me quickly see. Wait, are you guys trolling or there's no sound? Test, test, test. All right. I don't know. All right. Fair enough. Interesting. Somebody says refresh the stream, perhaps. Maybe if you give it one little refresh, should be all good to go. And by the way, guys, if you've not done yet, quickly make sure you press that like button if you're watching this. You don't have to, but hey. All right. Think about this. Somebody says it's like an old school Chinese movie. The words not matching the lips. I don't know. For me, everything looks perfect. So on my little device here. Right. Whatever. Skip it. So let's think here. Think with me now. So every single time a massive altcoin season came, it for the most part was a similar sort of playbook. So what basically happened every single time, and I'll actually present it to you right here. So what we can see in XRP, funnily enough, is that what we're seeing right now is the exact same thing that happened every single time it went towards those crazy heights. The exact same thing every single time. Now, this is also what I've been screaming at the top of my lungs in a lot of these videos recently. But it's basically along the lines of the moment it goes and it bounces off of the 180 level, something along those lines, somewhere around there, it just starts going and doesn't stop. And remember what I've said before, XRP has a good history of just going on an absolutely massive tangent without stopping. And as you take a look at the price right here, for example, November of 2024, the moment that XRP started popping off, take a look, right? You saw it go from 50 cents for weeks on end all the way towards $3 almost, $2.88. And I can see a lot of people commenting, no, this is a relief rally. This is not going to last long. This is only going to be here for a few days. And sure, there's a possibility for that. But thus far, there's never been a massive XRP bounce before where that happened. For example, the last time where it happened, you can see we went from the lows of $1.60 up roughly 70% or so throughout the month. And that is the least that we saw. All right. So basically the first time that we went towards this area, we bounced pretty quickly, about 70% in 26 days. The second time we bounced how much? Let's see here, about 67% in same amount of days. The third time we bounced roughly 93% or so in about a month. Here, I mean, this I cannot count, right? This little debacle of a day on October 10th. Right here, I guess was the worst of the performers, roughly 27% up, but I don't really count this one because it still, I would say, is the same move downwards. And here, as we bounced off, we right now are only 34% up or so in the past 19 days, but this specific move is actually just since the start of the year, right? Roughly 33% or so in 5 or 6 days. Every single one of you has to realize that nothing is guaranteed here. Nothing. But every single start of the year thus far has been pretty freaking bullish for our coins. And pretty quickly afterwards, people seem to, for some reason, realize that the previously talked about plans, right? For example, where Bitcoin should be at, Bitcoin's valuation, whether or not Bitcoin is under or overvalued. It does make sense for us to just admit that Bitcoin is in an undervalued state. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I will entertain the idea that it could be a trap. But remember this, every single time that what I just covered, right, with these altcoins going up, you know that XRP was the first many times, right? This time around, XRP is not the first to do it. It's actually freaking meme coins. But put that to the side. Let's accept for a second that it is XRP again. Remember, out of the entire top 100, XRP right now is number 4 in terms of daily gainers. This is the exact same playbook potentially as we saw in November of 2024, where XRP all of a sudden went from 50 cents to like $3 in 1 month. Just because everybody likes to scream, no, it's actually just a trap, it's just a trap. It doesn't necessarily have to be. Everybody was saying that when XRP was bumping from 50 cents to 60 cents. They're saying, it's going to go down, it's going to go down, it's going to go down. What if this is that turnaround? And again, I don't want to get too hyped up and too excited because I know we're not in the clear. All right, Bitcoin still has a couple of hurdles to get over. But then again, Bitcoin has been getting over the most important hurdles, right? Hurdles that we've been making for ourselves over the past couple of months. Things are starting to finally look good again. Again, the only time where XRP saw that sort of redemption rally from here again, right here, right? This November 19th move or so, if we again take a little bit of a look, that was also when Bitcoin was slowly but surely moving up. But generally speaking, that was like a little relief rally or so from really oversold levels. This is a bullish breakout. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, theoretically speaking, we're still on our way down in the overarching way. But I like to look at it the other way, which is we've actually shifted from going down to basically in the November period, going sideways to right now shifting it to going up. And regardless of what we do here, as long as we basically stay above this 93 level, $93,000, we just potentially, I'm just saying potentially, right? We bounce from here and slowly but surely move up. And we basically shifted the trend from mostly moving downwards, then to sideways, and now to upwards. What I always say is the most likely outcome is that you continue on with whatever you are doing. Because again, there's two trains of thought when it comes to trading for the most part. On the one hand, you have people that are basically trying to buy the dip, buy the bottom with the idea of basically catching that reversal, all right? You try to time the best possible lowest buys, which has pros and cons. On the opposite side, you have people who are trying to buy into momentum. Do whatever works. Now, the good and bad sides to buying the freaking bottom of the bottom is that the probability of you buying the exact bottom is so freaking low. Like, what are the odds you are exactly correct on it? And on that similar note, basically, that going against the grain is often way harder. Now, the benefit is that you're catching the majority of the gains if you are right. Because if you're trying to time that exact bottom or close to it, even though the probability of winning is pretty small, if you are correct, all my days are the gains strong and good. The other side, we've got the idea of, you know what? We just go with whatever the flow is going on. So we either basically buy in because the market's going up or we sell because the market's going down. But let's just say, for the sake of simplicity here, we're buying because the market is going up. Now, the good side is that you're probably right, not financial advice, because that tends to happen. Whatever's happening already most likely continues on, because what is the chance that exactly when you're buying, the entire market turns around? Pretty small. The counter is that you're buying into momentum. So the market has already moved up a lot, which is, again, how we get to the point of right now, which is a lot of people right now are saying, you know what, we will only buy XRP again, or only get in once we get all the confirmations. For example, once we get above $2.45, et cetera, we get excited again. And I get all that. But the counter would be, right, in this case here, the potential bottom buyers, which is what camp I belong to right here, have actually been, or turned out to be pretty right. Buying in the $1.80 area was a pretty good idea. And fun fact, let me just quickly, give me 10 seconds here. Let me open this up just for fun, because my account is looking pretty juicy. And I'm actually pretty proud of what this looks like. It's a bit of a skewed idea, or skewed reality, but it's still pretty cool. So, fun fact, if I, wait, why is this down? Is this correct? Okay, I guess it's either not updated or it is correct, and it's just less than I expected it to be. Okay, that is a bit strange. Anyway, regardless, so how much profit do you think on the Blowfin account throughout the year? So the year is obviously going on for 5 days. How much do you think we're up or down? This is just one account, the one that we basically use for one trade. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to show you. It's kind of funny. We're up. First day of the year, we're up 14,000. Oh, we can look at it this way. Second year, we're up 54. So, yeah, no, whatever. You just count them up. 54,000. The third day, we're up an additional 6,000. Fourth day, we're up 33,000. And this day, we're up $80,000 on the Blowfin account, which is pretty freaking juicy. At the same level, Bitcoin is up like, what, 7% or so. Now, I know a lot of you guys are commenting, you're happy with XRP when memes are doing way crazier. Yeah, that's okay. You know, you can't win them all. And that's also not, generally speaking, the idea. The idea is not to catch every single part. You know, I'm still happy whatever I can kind of take my W's at. And this year, we're starting off right. I know it's not crazy, especially if you consider what we lost throughout the past couple of months. But it's pretty freaking good. And again, remember, if you are buying memes and you're making a ton of profit, brother, wow, I'm freaking excited for you. All right, you think I care that you're making more profit? I'm happy for you. All right, I hope that you make 1,000 freaking X. And also, by the way, if you're wondering, the links to whatever I'm trading on are down below. For example, Blowfin is the main one that I usually trade on, but there's also some pretty nice rewards for signing up to WeX. But if you're wondering, just for the sake of showcasing, right now over on Blowfin, you get yourself VIP 1 straight away, which basically means some fee discount and some additional benefits, but also some other bonuses just for signing up or trading more. You can check them out with the link down below. And damn, somebody says personal record. wait, am I seeing that correctly? You know, I think some people just cap whenever they come in this chat, but it could be right. So this person right here is saying, new personal record, 66X just hit 1,000% profit. Holy smokes. Now that's risky. That is kind of crazy behavior, my friend. But hey, if that's really how you roll, all right, big ups to you, my brother. I don't copy you. But hey, having said that, let's see page number 2, though, because just for fun here, page number 1 has been pretty cool. But what's page number 2 look like? Let's see. We have XCN, Onyx coin up 43%. Deep Book Protocol, I don't even know what that is. Up 15-60%. Aether 15%. Fart coin 14. Wow, take a look at the weekly performances as well. Huh? It's really just memes. Meme coins, meme coins, meme coins, meme coins. Brett is up 40%. Whiff is up 40%. Build on is up 40%. Fart coin 46. Dog up 52%. Damn, this is nice. All right, because again, remember what I said at the start of the stream here. I personally think that the fact that meme coins are at the forefront of this run showcases it may very well not be a trap. Really, I've said it before. I just think the cycle has shifted from 4 year to 5.5, something like that. And we're going to see our rally still somewhere soon. It's just been basically delayed by, well, October 10th up to whenever the rally resumes again, which could be just a few days ago at the start of the year. So delayed by, let's say, about 2 months or so, or 2.5 months, but still continuing on. And then potentially ending in the next, let's say, 3-4 months, something like that. I am crazy excited about this new period. And sure, there'll be a lot of naysayers saying, no, this is not it. Nobody knows for sure, right? We're just acting to the best of our knowledge. And right now, to me, this is what I've been saying for a while. It seems like we have a very, very good opportunity for massive moves. Okay, let me ask you this. Let's ask in the chat box right here. I'm gonna propose this question right now. How do I do a poll? Start a poll. Are you bullish or bearish right now? All right, just vote on whatever you think is going to happen next. So do you think we're bullish or bearish right now? Do you think we're going to go up or down? Let's see you guys' votes. Because what I like to often discuss here is if you guys think we're going down, which is fine, there's nothing bad about it. Are you shorting? Like, are you selling everything and you're trying to buy back cheaper? Are you fully stabled up? Or is this just talk, but not actually putting the freaking money in, all right? Not putting the numbers in. And by the way, guys, Happy New Year, everybody. For all of you that have not been watching in a while, I want to just quickly say, Happy New Year. This is going to be our freaking year, all right? This is going to be our freaking year. Look at this, all right? My friends, if you have no idea how serious I am, I want you to consider this, all right? Who does that? Who's got these, all right? If they don't got these on, I want you guys to realize that. Oh, I'm excited for what we got coming up here. Oh, I'm excited. Whew. Oh. I'm hyped up. All right, I'm really hyped up. What if this is our chance? What if this is that time? And again, it may not be. Oh, damn. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Still, we have to wait for some confirmations. Just because Bitcoin shows a few days of green doesn't mean we won't get slapped in the face, right? But I want to admit that the numbers which we are seeing right now are astronomical, right? It's just that crazy. It deserves a little bit of an attention piece, and it deserves some recognition as the idea that every single time that XRP went for such massive pumps throughout a day, it continued on for many days in a row. And you guys, again, are saying muted. Is there something wrong with the stream? Is it sometimes cutting off the audio, or where exactly is this happening? How is the audio cutting out? Why is that happening? Why would that happen? For all of you that are, if this is your first stream or whatever, for me, all I see is a little text that says stream is healthy, everything is excellent, stream status excellent. So if the audio is cutting out, I see my audio bar here. I have a little device, everything is green, everything is perfect. So I literally have no idea what it could be. Does it happen in videos also? I don't know. Like, I have no idea why this would be going on. So you guys saying somebody has crappy connection, but what is the probability of everybody having that same issue, right? It's pretty small, I think. Hence, but I don't know. All right, boys. So the poll is in, by the way, and 80% of the people watching here are bullish out of 137 votes. So about, wow. All right, I'm pretty surprised by that 4/5 are bullish here. Regardless. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you, I am not just like an XRP guy. All right, I love many coins, and I would never be the person to tell you that, oh, it's literally XRP or go to the freaking cemetery, you know. So no, you can buy a lot of coins and do exceedingly well. And XRP is just one of the many coins that I really love and that I really think do well whenever you're positioned well. But more importantly, it's because I've been screaming about one specific level to watch for, $1.80 in XRP, and basically commit to it, because every single time thus far, if you'd committed to it, it would have resulted in pretty crazy gains. And I'd show you all the times that XRP hit it, how crazy the market went up. And here it happened just yet again. The market went up like crazy, specifically XRP, with, again, being one of the best gainers in the entire top 100 right after $1.80. I'm just proud of our, let's call it prediction or our analysis or our thoughts. Again, do I have a freaking glass ball? No. Could we have been wrong? Sure. But we're putting the money on it, and it turned out to be a pretty good freaking idea. And I'm just happy to see it. And I remind y'all that every single time that XRP went for a pretty crazy rally, there's only one time that it turned out to be a really bad idea. All right, and that was right here. That was over on March of 2025 when XRP went up and down like crazy the exact same day, or at least in the same 24-hour period. Every single time before that, whenever it saw a massive rally days, especially a few days in a row, it continued on towards basically new heights or close to it. Just look back at it. And we're talking about, again, it being supported, in this case here, by the fact that meme coins are the #1 in the world, or #1 in the crypto space, and the fact that it's, again, a bounce off of 180, because it's different when it's just, I guess, bouncing in the middle of nowhere. This is, again, a bounce off of the strongest support that XRP has seen throughout the past little bit over a year. All right, that's all I want to showcase. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to get clear. Another one is the idea that Bitcoin is finally breaking out, where it went from downwards over the past couple of months to sideways for the past month and a half or so to right now finally, hopefully, going back up again. Of course, it could turn this around, but that's exactly what I'm seeing in Bitcoin right now, that is finally showcasing some signs of looking green. Again, it's not in a super cheap spot anymore. We talked about where it's cheap, basically below the yellow line. We only got 1 or 2 days to buy at a super cheap spot, basically in this purple box. Everything in blue is you can buy, sell, doesn't really matter too much. It's just neutral. It does make more sense to buy rather than to sell, but hey, regardless. And then back when we get to green, which is now slightly higher, by the way, it's like 113,000 probably. That's, again, where I would think more about selling rather than buying. But again, that's from a trading perspective, not a fundamental perspective, because at the end of the day, I just buy coins all the time. I don't really sell them. Why? Because why would I? It doesn't really make a lot of sense to that. The bots are also looking pretty clean. So XRP has gone from just 3-4 days ago being minus $20,000 to right now being up 12 or so thousand. So that's pretty good. The Solana bot is also now running in profit. This has been one of the worst bots I've got thus far. Let's see here. These are also running pretty okay. Not in trend P&L, but hey, it's okay. Give it a bit of time. The main Bitcoin bot is also doing pretty well. And let's see here real quick. We also have, I guess, the coin bots. These are not doing so well just quite yet. We need a bit of time, right? I opened this one at $4,400 in ETH. Yeah, give it a bit of time. And here some of the small ones are, I guess, being held up by our beginner bots, like the ETH and SOL ones. Okay. But this is all automatic. So this is just, I sometimes periodically look back at this because, like I said before, it just automatically buys down as the price goes lower and sells as the price goes higher. It's all basically automatic. It's pretty nice to see it right there. And then we also have, oh, wait, let me quickly refresh this. Give it a little second to load on in. Here we go. So we also have one of our Bybits right here. Let's quickly give it a little second. It's right now at $94,000 of BTC, which basically means our BTC long is still, like, all of these are still significantly underwater, but we're getting closer and closer towards seeing some sort of profit. I think this is also down like, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. I have too many accounts to watch nowadays. I don't know. Let's quickly see. Where is that? I don't know. Okay, never mind. I was going to showcase another one where we have the longer term trade, but I don't know where to find it. Hey, by the way, though, isn't this a pretty clean start to the year? Wait, let me quickly see. This is the full one. Here we go with the clean one. Here we go. Isn't this, if you just look at it like this, right? Again, this is not the full story because, of course, there's days before it. But this is just 2026. Doesn't this look freaking beautiful? All right, a 14K, 54K, 6K, 32K, and a $80,000 day. Like, this is a pretty nice start to the year, right? This is a pretty nice start to the year. I mean, this looks pretty good, no? I'm happy to see it at least. It looks pretty nice. Doesn't mean we've done amazing throughout the entire period, but since the start of the year, we're winning. And that's something. That still counts for something. At least I personally think. Also, have you guys been looking at any new coins recently? This was brought to my attention because somebody's donating, sharing their coin. I'm thinking like, hey, you know, whenever the market starts doing great again, it's also that time where you got to start looking into new coins to potentially add to the stash. And of course, it's a bit early to say that. But I will tell y'all that I've been here for a decade, right? So 10 cold, long freaking years in the crypto market. And my number one tip is whenever you really believe that the market may be back, it's really smart, in my own humble opinion, not financial advice, to start watching the sectors early. Right now, AI and memes seem to be really hard. Pause. All right, AI and memes seem to be really doing well. Focus on them. It is not wise, in my own personal idea, to ignore the signs and to just go for whatever worked last time or whatever. No, we skip all that. We go for whatever's working right now because the chances are that that's going to keep on working. Just like XRP back in November 2024, all right? It was working, which is what you saw with basically the daily gains, and it continued on working for a month on end. And just because a lot of you guys were here to witness this is why I keep reminding people, you know, that I sometimes, if, for example, you are in our team, sometimes we have trading competitions, for example, on WeX or Blowfin, right? So, for example, on Blowfin last time, we had a trading competition. I told y'all there's one person in our team at that point that turned 50K into 3 mil, or what was it now? Was it 50K to 3 or 4 mil? I don't remember. I think something along those lines in that little span of time. How did he do it? Well, again, I'm not making any guarantees. It's just, in hindsight, it was pretty easy. All he did was commit to the XRP pump, and he kept up and up and up, and it worked out pretty well for him. There was a couple of success stories, but that's the only one that I could see right in front of my screen. And again, it seems a bit ridiculous to many, but I'm telling you right now, things can really change fast if they just keep cascading because it just keeps going and going and going and going. For potentially, like here, for example, this July session, you can see how many days in a row it was of pretty crazy gains. And right now at $2.30, this is like a lot of people wish for this just a few days ago. They wish for some sort of redemption rally just so they could either exit or just cash out some of the profit from longing that freaking bottom. Because it's up 30% or so in the past, like what, 3-4 days? So yeah, let's see here real quick. Nan says Pippin or something went bananas a while ago. Yeah, Pippin was also one of the top coins that did some crazy numbers throughout this week. But I guess Pippin potentially is not in the top 100 anymore, maybe. I also don't know Pippin, by the way, I should add. I just saw it also in the top of the top. But potentially it was just like an error because it doesn't seem to be there no more. How many of you guys, hey, just a quick little roll call type of question. Let me just end this real quick. How many of y'all watching this right now are actually up? Or the other way around? Are you still down in your crypto portfolio? I'm still down tremendously. So for me, this is a good day, but this is not going to take my freaking cries away or something like that. It's just a nice day. Realistically, it's just a good day, but not a good season just quite yet, right? Last few days have been nice, but I'm still down tremendously bad. Like I'd have to freaking phone the freaking emergency line. That's how down bad I am. All right, somebody says, how about CMC 20? CMC 20 is just like the top, I guess, 20 coins in one. I don't know exactly what you do with that. It's no use in that at all. So the reason I'm asking this is because I want to sometimes showcase for some people that are either new or they don't watch their crypto coins every single day. I want y'all to realize that if your portfolio is down like 60%, 70% right now, you feel hopeless, realize that you're not alone. The majority of people are probably in the exact same position, but those things change tremendously. And I also want to say, for me, for example, total portfolio down tremendously. Income down tremendously. Everything down tremendously because everything is tied to cryptocurrencies, right? You know that in October, actually in the whole of 2021, but specifically in January 2021, I think, some might have said, oh, the market is really, really good, right? 2021, because 2020, it started to do really, really good already. You know, January 2021 probably was like one of my worst months ever. And I don't want to say I thought about quitting, but basically I think that entire month I did almost nothing as well because it just didn't feel right. And when everything's down a lot, you just don't feel in the right headspace. So what I did is just kind of take a little step back, realize that this is also what happened in the previous cycle. This is what probably everybody is going through. And all we got to do is just believe. It sounds a bit, I think it always sounds a bit cringe, but just believe that better times will be coming. And I sometimes say it in a kind of destined sense of better times are destined for you, or for the crypto market, if you just want to sound a bit less corny. And so all you got to do is just be able to hold on and wait for that time to hit. And in that, I find some tranquility, some peace of just knowing, hey, everybody's probably in the exact same spot. A lot of people will be giving up here, and that's how I often hear those stories. Whenever I meet people and I ask them about crypto, they say, yeah, I lost a lot of money with that stuff, haha, garbage. But they got in at like 2018. So if they had held on, they would have probably been up like 20x. So it's probably their own mistake. And whenever I think of those stories, combined with my own experience, I realize, hey, whenever times are most dark or bleakest or whatever, like we're seeing right now, right, at least 2 weeks ago, all we got to do is endure, realize this stuff is probably not going to zero. And if it does, well, you made a really unlucky freaking call to buy at exactly the point before it goes to zero. And that always keeps me kind of sane. It always keeps me in a spot of, hey, I might as well risk it for the biscuit, because I don't think I'm that lucky to buy just before it goes to absolute zero. Nah. I think this will stretch at least a lot further before potentially going down a lot. But I don't think I'm that guy to be the last one to buy. I think there's going to be at least some sort of proper redemption rally where at least those heights are going to be taken out for Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, whatever. And sure, I cannot predict how high it's going to go or when exactly it's going to happen. All we know is, well, if we go to certain levels, we take a bit of an extra risk on our profile and buy a bit more. Whenever we get to these levels, we might want to sell a bit more. We might want to balance things out. Hey, at this point, we may want to pivot from this altcoin to that altcoin or look at that sector. But right now, all we're doing is damage control. Right? A portfolio may be down tremendously. How do we not make this go any worse? Not necessarily in terms of dollars. I don't really mind my portfolio going down more in terms of dollars, but how do I keep my head in the game and not want to give up? And for me, it's just to realize that this happened every single freaking time. Happened every single time. Whenever my portfolio was looking really freaking dark, and I realized that's because I committed a lot of stuff to crypto. And so I also have this basically I'm going to say actually perfect correlation with whenever the crypto market does go up, then my portfolio is also up tremendously. And I remind y'all, whenever the market goes up and it goes into altcoin season mode, it's usually only 3-4 weeks, where the 2 weeks are just peak momentum, peak craziness. It's not a lot of time. And by that logic, I also tell people, pivot early. If I look back at previous runs, I always say, what was my biggest mistake? It is not committing to the bull market early enough. That's how you go from making really, jokingly, life-changing amounts of money to life-changing amounts of money. There's still a different league in that, right? Why? Because maybe if you do your best and you start a bit late, you wait for all the confirmations, you get a 10x. And if you really go a bit earlier, you commit a bit harder with a bit higher risk profile, potentially you can sweep that 30 or maybe even 80x. And maybe you don't believe me right now. It's fine. But remember, this is what I've gathered from talking to only crypto people. All my friends do this basically full time. For being here every single day for the past 10 years. I'm here every day making videos. This is all I do in my life. And I don't really know any other sector. And from the perspective that, well, I cover the news and I cover basically what the price does every single day. So if you don't take anything from me, that's completely fine because I'm not a financial advisor. But one thing you can take away is just some of the cold hard facts, which are that crypto has will continue to go up throughout time, always. Stocks have done the same. Gold has done the same. Silver has done the same. And sure, it may take a long time for it to recover. But patience I've got. Patience I've got. But infinite pockets, no. All right? We all have to stop somewhere. So all I'm doing is just making sure that I'm in a comfortable position where I can survive the dips, mentally be okay if things go down slightly further. And that's all. All right, that's all I need. That's all I care about. That's all I look at. So right now, what are we doing? We're just trying to hold on for dear freaking life. And we really kind of hope that this is the moment where XRP starts popping off. But basically, I kind of hope the same for almost any coin. Right now for XRP as it stands, I guess we are again at the precipice, at the end, at the level where things are finally starting to get juicy again. But funnily enough, if you look at this over an overarching, view, it really is kind of funny how beautiful it just bounced off of these previous lows. And how by just not being a whiny ass like I've been screaming for the past couple of weeks, would have been a pretty beautiful trade right here. But yeah, regardless, let's see here real quick. The tangent redhead says DCA has really helped me out. Buying the dips can be hard, but once you become obsessed with lowering your DCA, the red days don't affect you as much. Very much agreed. Kunash says, your channel has really been helpful in my piece in holding on and being patient, so thank you. Well, I appreciate you for watching. The History Bear says, I don't have much left to sell. I'm working on accumulating again. Fair enough. None says, those 2 weeks of constant pump feels long enough, though. It doesn't. Really. Every single one of you, if you feel as if a bull market or altcoin season lasts long, you're crazy. Or maybe you've just not entered it properly enough. Why am I saying that? Well, because do you consider this to be an altcoin season? I didn't. Every single day was just, wow, oh, pretty, but every single day you think this might be the last of days. In hindsight, it was a crazy run for a month. But every single day you think, this is probably it. Because if you look at it right now, already 1 week has passed. All the other week has started for this run, right? If you look at it from the daily perspective, how many green days in a row do you really ever have? Let's say it's 28 of them. We've already had 5, let's say, right? And it's not going to be straight, but let's just say 28. We've already had 5. We're already, let's say, 1/6 into all this, if this is the end of it, for example. We can just, for example, now be at almost $3. This is not necessarily probable. I'm just giving out an idea. We can be, for example, close to $2.80 tomorrow and $3.18 the next day. And all of a sudden, a few days of just kind of tiny increases afterwards. And we're at $3.70 in just like a week or so. And all of a sudden, the rest of the gains going from $3.70 to $4.20 before going down to 0. I'm just naming out something as an example. It can just happen like in the next 2 weeks after that. If you get my drift. This can take a very long amount of time of slow and steady incline, but it could also just really, you go to the top pretty quickly, and we're also back down pretty quickly, like we had in this scenario right here. 1 month of up, a few months basically of down before we beat the high again, and then plenty of months of down, like 6 months of down, maybe even more. From this height, it took, basically 6 months or so to get back above that previous high. Now, we are again, from the heights that XRP saw, we have again taken roughly half a year or so. So I guess it's time, huh? I guess it is time. And now today, giving a little update, let's quickly refresh it once more just to make sure we really are fresh on the fresh. Y'all, are we good? I always need to check because for me now, for example, the stream, it says excellent, everything great. But then when I'm trying to look at my screen, it's giving a little refresh emoji. Or refresh thingy. Also, nobody is saying anything, which is a bit suspicious. Everybody, by the way, if you're watching the stream right now, we have about 450 people watching. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. You don't have to, but we've had a few thousand people stop on by to this stream, but there's only 120 likes pressed. Again, you don't have to, but if you want to, make sure you press that like button, because why not? All right, so over the week, we've got the top gainer being Render up 72%. Now, is there anything we can still do? Here's a funny lesson in this. Okay, I'm getting a bit concerned. Anybody watching this right now, please let me know by just giving a little response in the chat. Like, hey, everything's fine, everything's good. Just one person is good enough, but it's still stuck. I see a heart, though. There we go. All right, Craig and Deco, appreciate y'all. Bulls Cup, appreciate you. Hey, where's everybody watching from today? Who do we got in the chat? Because actually, it's a pretty full house, even though it's a bit late for what we usually stream at. Stop for a sec. Okay, I guess maybe that's the audio cutting out then or something like that. We've got Netherlands, we got Canada, we got UK, Alberta, Australia. You audio? Again, my brother, I sincerely hope that this does not happen ever again, but I have no way to know because for me, it doesn't cut out. Australia, UK, Belgium, Seattle, Spain here. Manchester. We got Seattle. We got, I don't know how to do a Manchester accent. I just know the Scouse one now. Belgium, Tennessee. Let me see. Okay, let me think here. So, interesting. Okay, so I was just looking at the countries here and thinking about something. Interesting piece of thought. Looking at these coins, huh? And I might do an analysis on this a bit later here tonight because I have free time. Why not? I'm thinking about it. How probable would it be that buying into a, let's just say, at the top of the top, right? Let's just call it 40% gainers across the board. And okay, let me draw it out for you. I think an interesting piece of analysis would be, and I'm going to do this probably later tonight, how good would it have been in hindsight to buy into coins like Render, 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗍𝗍, Virtual, BONK, Penguins, Floki, or Pudgy, Stacks, and Mix, debatability, Pump. How good would it have been in hindsight to buy into the, let's say, the top 10 or top even 15 coins if they're plus 40% throughout the week for the next few days after that? Meaning, if we look at the probability, and actually just the returns of coins after a plus 40% or more increase throughout the past week, how would the results have been after that? I think that's actually pretty interesting to think of here. Because whenever the market is really, really good, one of the main tactics to make a ton, and this is not financial advice, is to buy winners. We add to whatever is winning already. Because with XRP, a similar sort of strategy would have worked here, right? Where I make a video early today talking about how crazy it is to see XRP at $2.17. And if you'd bought then, even though it's really high, right now it's at $2.32. And again, will it come back down? It could. But it could also continue on towards $2.60 tomorrow. I remember streaming XRP in July, I think, when I was in Brazil. And it just kept on doing it time and time again. Just crazier and crazier gains every single day. And from that angle, I am thinking about it now along the lines of, if we had just bought the top 10 best gainers, how well would it have done throughout the next couple of days or weeks after that? I'm not sure exactly the best way to analyze this because I don't know how often it happens, but that is also, let's just say we put as a standard that the top 10 coins have to have at minimum all 25% gains or so throughout that week. Why am I saying that? Well, because if it's just 1 or 2 or 3, then it's probably not a proper altcoin move. If it's at least 10, or maybe even in this case here, at least 14, at least 13 or something like that, it may mean that because 13 coins are up at least 30% or more throughout that week, that this is like one of the conditions that we may need. Even now I'm thinking maybe we can let AI analyze that. So let's just say 13 coins, minimum gains throughout the week, at least 30%, with the top gainer being at least 50% up or so. And then I guess we should maybe also put some conditions for any sort of daily gainer, but I guess that can come a bit later when we specify things more. And then basically we'd have to analyze every single time that happened, how high was the probability of that basket of coins, 10 of them in that case, continuing on to make gains for yet another day or 2 or 3 more days or however many more days. Because I think the probability is pretty high. However, we should also, I guess, fish out the anomalies. So, for example, a coin like Lighter is mostly just going up right now because of news saying that they're going to be using protocol fees to buy back the token. However, even though I'm saying that right now and it's an anomaly, doesn't necessarily mean it can't actually continue to go up like crazy based on this news, just like Pump Fun and I guess Hyperliquid did. So I guess that also does not necessarily mean anything. Yeah, it's an interesting situation. Also, Mix, which was one of the best gainers throughout the week just now, still up 40%, is actually one of the worst performers today. And 𝗵𝗵𝗀𝗍𝗍 as well is actually not doing that well throughout these days, which is obviously why it's not a guarantee or anything like that. But it is interesting to think about. So Nintendo says, so are you buying XRP now or not? Well, my friend, let me tell you 2 things. One, if you want to trade XRP, you can do so with like link down below to either WeX. It's where right now you can get some pretty nice position bonuses. So for just signing up, I could have beaten half of y'all minimum. I would have been at least top 10. Sometimes the boys are really freaking strong here in our team, right? But imagine I started the competition at the start of the year. No! All right. 1 week into the year, we're starting a competition for everybody on boys, like I said, there's literally nothing I can do. I'm watching my stream back. I have now 3 different devices open, and even my phone. I'm gonna open it up again on my phone. Let's see. So you guys keep saying it's lagging, but to me, no lag. Open it up again on my phone. Let's see. So you guys keep saying it's lagging, but to me, no lag. Again, let's see here. Stream health, excellent. Analytics proper. I don't know. Phone looking fine. Anyway, yeah. Was gonna say, I will do another competition over on Blowfin. But if you're wondering, like, should we be buying, should we be selling? If you've been holding XRP for a long time and you've been going for the strategy which I discussed, I don't think it's that stupid to cash out some just to be satisfied with your gains. That does not mean I don't think the price will go up even further. All I'm saying is, remember this. We are here for the long haul. We are here for the long haul means we need to have liquidity, and we also need to be satisfied whenever these pumps come along, which basically means if you want to know why I cashed out 50K or something like that, even though it was plus 450K before this entire trade, by the way, the reason I cashed out only 50, but I did cash out some, was because even though I do still believe the trade will make me much more throughout a little bit of a longer term, it was pretty freaking nice to just lock in some profits and move on. So I still tell people to do this all the time. Even if you think the price will go way higher, it is not a bad idea to cash out some at some of these points just in case the market does move against you, or just so it feels like you're making some sort of progress. And again, you don't have to. This is just for in case your mental is not in the exact best spot. And maybe you've been accumulating for so long, it is not a bad idea to cash out now, for example, let's say a few percent. Maybe you want to cash out 2% or something like that, maybe 5%, as the market has moved up 33% in a few days. Just based on probability, right? So this guy, why do you keep coming in, strangers? Dusty, why does XRP make you truly hide the Puerto Rican side of you? We do miss you in Puerto Rico. Can you please not hide this information from the whole island of Puerto Rico? Dusty is from Puerto Rico, but he hides that part of him. Not too sure why. You know, I really do wonder how deep the lore can go. Brother, write more, all right? I want to see more of that. Somebody says, I thought Dusty was Indian. He's actually Indian. How do you know? How do you know I'm Indian, brother? All right. Brother, I'm not Indian. But maybe. Let's see here. Keep hodling. The best is yet to come. Well, let's hope so. XRP 233 right now. Things are looking pretty freaking good. You know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to. Man, I want to blast that song to my freaking speakers again in a few. Imagine if we could just blast that stuff. But then they take down the stream, which is the bad part. By the way, guys, if you're not watching this, or if you're watching this right now, if you're not watching, make sure you press that like button. You've got nothing to lose. Okay, you know, I'm gonna risk it for the why is there no freaking way to do this, man? Okay, let's hope they don't take it down for that. All right. You're not Indian. Then he would only buy XRP at $0. Real talk. The majority of my XRP I did not buy below or above like 50 cents. But I must admit also, you know, I lost tons of XRP a while back at the 10th of the 10th. I was kind of confused there for a second. I was like, wait, what's the date again? 10th to the 10th, lost quite a lot. But, hey, you know, it's all okay. We just keep on accumulating. We keep freaking rowing with the freaking things we got. I don't fucking know those names in English. The freaking ropes of the boat. Oscar copied your song and calls it his. I mean, it's not my song, brother. But, yeah, we've been doing that song for a couple years. But, hey, you know, it's all good. It's a good song, so I get it. We shall all come together to take it back. Our song. Anyway. Pay safe on fleet. Careful, Dusty. All right. All right. I shall try my best. But yeah, no, that was actually the majority of what I wanted to quickly talk about, y'alls. Like, real talk. It's pretty good market. XRP 233. I mean, is this not ridiculous, though? Like, are we not coming together now to accept how crazy this is? Can a brother be happy for a day? Like, it's been so many days of down. Finally, a few days of up. We deserve this. This is deserved. This is nice, right? This is a good start to the freaking year. It's not amazing. Could be slightly better, but it's a good freaking start. Pace says, oh, these days snowflakes get you banned for doing a racial accent. Wait, is doing an accent racist? How does that work? If I do this, then it's racist? Well, call me racist then. I didn't know, but I guess I am. Anyway, it has kind of become the XRP Army song altogether, and that's thanks to Dusty. Even BTC people are using it now. No, man. I mean, I think people are using that Pump It Up song for a long time. William says, when do you think $4 XP will happen? And somebody says, shut up, William. If only I knew, brother. I mean, funnily enough, it could happen in, I don't want to say this because some people may take it too close to heart. But, with the way in which the coins are moving up right now, if this continues on, it's like they're in literally 3 or 4 weeks. Like, it could happen if you get my drift. I'm not saying it will. I'm just saying don't vote it out. Don't think that just because it looks far away right now, almost a 2x, that it's really far away, because it could literally happen within a few weeks. And all the people saying it will never happen, hey, maybe they're right. Maybe they are correct. Maybe this actually will just go to zero and we were all wrong. It's possible, right? But there's also a chance that we were really freaking right. Just like now about buying XRP at $1.80, which I've talked about 1,000 times. I'm just discussing now to get a competition going on. Because I think now, if XRP is popping off, we need the boys to get into action. And fight for some prize. How much? Pump it up. You got to pump it. Where's Arnold Schwarzenegger today? Get on the chopper. Actually, we're supposed to, but there's a long story about that. If I stream a certain way, I can't actually, like, for example, the way I'm streaming right now, nobody can join. And I wanted to quickly actually talk for like 2 minutes and get the freak back out of here. But then all of a sudden, while I was setting up the stream, XRP all of a sudden started doing some ridiculous numbers here again. Like, I was going to talk about it at like $2.20 something, and all of a sudden it popped to $2.33, and I didn't expect it to go that wild. So it was just supposed to be like a 2 minutes quickly, like, whoa, guys, take a look at this. And then the price just shot up even more, and I was just so starstruck that I stayed. Long story short, if I stream the way I'm doing right now, nobody can join. I have to purposefully set up the stream that way. Pump it up. You got to. That song, though, it does hit a specific piece of my brain. It just, there's some sort of thing that it hits. Anyway, I'm even thinking now, if the market keeps going later on, we're just going to be streaming time and time again. Because right now, XRP 234 almost coming in. Holy shit, huh? You're saying, and now it's going sideways. Brother, a bit of sideways is okay when the market's been doing these numbers. It's been down, indeed, ever since I basically started the stream. How much do you think it would cost to buy the copyright of the song? Could you imagine a Dusty Pump It Up song if I bought the song? I think that song is worth a ton. How much would the Pump It Up song be worth? I wonder how much it would have generated already throughout time. Oh, there's too many of them. Which one do we want to buy? Let's see. Pump it up. What if I actually... I guess the Endor one. Okay. What is the other one? Let's do the Endor one. Let's do this one. All right. Let's see how much it generated already, I guess, huh? Ooh. Strong to... Ooh. Implied total value. Okay. It's not that much. If licensed, all right, if licensed, still pretty ridiculous. All right. Tom, welcome. I'm trying to buy the Pump It Up song. I'm trying to know how much that song, pump it up, you got to pump it, is worth. How much? But it seems implied total value, $2.5 to $5 million. Now, that's a bit on the high end. However, yeah, how much... Masters. I guess you could just buy only licensing, huh? But regardless, it says here 10 to 40K. All right, well, fair enough. We got that part. We got that part. So, Tom, what's happening, Tom? You must know. I should have done this stream differently so we could just let people hop on. Would have been cool. Tom, you still need to join me sometime, man. I've been waiting for that. Regardless, what's going on, man? If only we knew, huh? If only we knew. I mean, it does make sense, but it also kind of doesn't, realistically. But I'm just happy. I'm just happy to see finally my cries being, turned around into profits. I'm still down tremendously, like I said before, so it's not like we're good, but at least there's one day of no crying, and that counts for something. All right, it counts for at least something. Albeit ridiculously small, it is something. All right. Yeah. So I think really the only major thing I've still got to do on that list is do that little comparison for all the top coins, the if clause thing, basically. So if we were to buy mostly coins that are at the top of the top, what is the probability that we continue to do those similar sort of gains for at least 1 to maybe 3 or 5 days after that? I think we make a couple different requests there. So one, for example, what is the probability of still making any sort of gains percentage-wise just after plus, let's say, 70% at the top or 50% at the top, 30% across the top 10 coins minimum for the weekly gain? What is the probability of you making any sort of percent on that? And then I guess the other question is, would you be up yes or no in 7 days just being green on the price? Or I guess another one could be a completely different angle. How many times would it have continued to show green days after that initial basically percentage or whatever we take a starting point or a snapshot? However many days would it continue on? It's basically, if we take this snapshot right now, right? This is the top weekly gainers throughout. Here we go. We take this snapshot right here. So these top 10, we take a snapshot at it right now at all these prices. What is the probability based on previous facts? And again, we consider top gainer being at least 50% plus up in the week, the bottom gainer being at least up 30% throughout the week. What is the probability, if this happened in the past, that it continued to make gains on at least the average, I guess, of those top 10 coins for at least the next following, let's say, 1 hour, 10 hours, a few days, I don't know. I think the probability would be potentially pretty high. But it's a lot of work to look into that. So I'm thinking maybe we need to find a good way to let AI do that, but I think the prompt's going to be a bit awkward. But there's probably a way to get that done. if we take coins that are only bigger. Because, for example, Pengu, the problem is Pengu is a bit too young. Like, there's not going to be that much history for it. And it also changes depending on what is completely hyped up. So, for example, there was a phase where, in previous phases, for example, there's an AI season, render and virtuals were doing really well, or a meme coin season, that might change things. Then again, we could now argue that this is the start of a new season where meme coins and AI coins do well again. So perhaps I guess that doesn't necessarily count then. Anyway, most proud of anybody that's not been watching for the past, I guess, hour. I want to flex my year-to-date gains here. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I feel like it. So here's our Blowfin account from the start of the year up to now. All right, so day 1, 14.3 thousand. Day 2, $54,000 worth of profit. Day 3, $6,000 worth of profit. Day 4, $33,000 profit. And day 5, which is today, we're up $80,000 on this one singular account. That means we're up $200,000 this week. Definitely not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Could it be better? Yes. But is it nice? Yes. And sometimes just being nice is screw every single one of you. I was wrong. My boys, my ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the new chart. We're actually up $94,000 today because the market just moved up for XRP a bit. We're now up, indeed, more than $201,000 this week. But I can still not buy the Pump It Up song because we need $5 million for that. But hey, give us 2 weeks. Hopefully, we're up a pretty good penny here. If XRP just does a little bit of a move here, it could be up even juicier. I wonder what the rest of my accounts would look like if I just, let's see here. Is there any other one that I could quickly check? Where is this here? Is there any trading history or something like that? I guess account. Here, let's take a look at this. Where's performance or something like that? Overview. Asset details, maybe. I don't know how to do this the best way. I guess this one's not working. On this one, we didn't close anything, so I guess it's not going to show up. Okay. I guess assets will, but that's not the same. That doesn't hit the same. So, for example, nah, this don't hit the same. I found one more. It don't feel the same. This is like, it's good, but it's too teeny. Plus 10K, plus 16, plus 4, and plus 7. This don't hit me right. What else can we do? Can we grab this one? Is there an analysis button? I guess not. Regardless, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So, anyway, point being, market's done pretty well. We're looking pretty juicy. I want the market to do some way crazier numbers, though, and all we do now is just sit patiently and wait for that to hit. I'm also going to start a specific Blowfin campaign just now, which is basically a trading campaign. We'll be giving away some schmeckles, some mullah, to people who trade the best. And it's going to be over on Blowfin, this one right here. If you guys want, we can also do one on WeX. Depends on where most people trade on. I don't know. But on Blowfin, we're going to be doing ourselves a competition. If you've not signed up yet, there's the link right there. Right now, you get some pretty juicy bonuses just for signing up. And the idea is that if you're good at trading, or potentially if you get really, really lucky, you can at least win a ton. Because I usually make my competitions pretty nice. We're just giving away some schmeckles to see how to draw out the best of the best. And hopefully, I can hire some new analysts as well. That would be pretty amazing. Just to supplement to our stack. Join Mr. Schwarzenegger. Would be pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's about it, though, for today's little stream. All right. Just, yeah, pretty comfy. If something happens, I'll let you know. And there's just nothing more to say except for, damn, XRP is looking good, and we hope that this continues on. And if it does, well, you know my thoughts, right? I'm not really thinking of selling anything at these low points, but hey, if anything changes, I will let you know. Also, if you didn't do it yet, you might want to check out my Instagram. If you want some more like daily updates, check out Instagram. You know, why not? I post a lot of cool pictures. If you want to know what my life looks like, you can check it out. You've got nothing to lose. You want to see a little bit. You know, go take a look. Go give me a little like. Why not? Right? Don't be greedy. And make sure you press the like on the stream as well if you enjoyed it. See you guys again somewhere. Probably later today, yeah? All right, lads. Peace out. Have some good gains. And don't lose everything if the market crashes, all right?